All right. Well, what you want to talk
about? Current events, man. First of all, I want to start off as a St. Louis citizen, man. As a person who's lived in St. Louis City for almost 30 years. You know
okay.
What I mean? It's wild as a motherfucker out here, bro.
Okay.
Like, it's like unrealistically wild. Like, I feel like it's like Grand Theft Auto played out in real life. First thing you do on Grand Theft Auto, you steal a car.
Yes.
And
young
how
people
many
are stealing cars like
grown
crazy.
I didn't start playing Grand Theft Auto until I was like, at least I could read and shit.
Yes.
How many kids been playing Grand Theft Auto their whole life from like jump? And it's just saying like, bro, it's way out of control right now. Like, it's like, the city is way out of control in terms of just, and we gonna keep it black. We ain't even gonna go to the white people.
Right.
Our kids are out of fucking control. They have no respect.
Yeah.
They just on some complete bullshit, and it's just like, what we finna do? Oh, we just finna let niggas be wild for the next, you know what I mean? Like, it's just getting to the point now where it's just scary for me as a young black man who's eventually gonna have a family and want to raise kids in St. Louis and all that shit. Just like at any time, a nigga could just come and kill you in an accident because he just having a video game experience or
right.
high as a motherfucker. It's just always some crazy ass shit. Like,
yeah.
Like even right now, we just looked on VLTP and then shout out the Voice of the People. And it's like a semi truck flipped over, a bunch of it is slippery and icy and shit, but niggas don't got no common sense to where it's like, yes, it's 20 degrees.
Slow down.
It's been precipitation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was snowing earlier, basically.
And niggas just be doing whatever, bro. So how do you feel about just like how crazy shit is right now? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
because it's always been crazy, but it seems like it's like reaching new levels.
I guess it's always been crazy. I'm not surprised by the new levels. Well, first of all, let me say, I think that things are sensationalized overall. So we're made and programmed to feel like we live in this constant state of like...
It's been 1,500 stolen cars so far this year.
No, well, let me finish what I'm going to say. Like this endless state of like crazy stuff is going on. It's like the thing that we're talking about is we have a problem with our youth. They don't have anything to do. And so they have this. It's not
their fault.
So that's what I'm saying. So the idle time that they have, they can't go to the park district. They can't really participate in extracurricular activities at school.
They done closed all the schools.
So they using their intelligence to like
steal.
Do crime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're going through stuff that like major cities went through in like the 80s. And this ain't nothing but New York when they closed a whole bunch of schools and did a whole bunch of stuff and the kids in the projects. And what do? They go out into the city and they cause havoc. That's what young people do.
But I guess the thing with New York is just like, yeah, it's going to be hella more bad kids if it's 11 million people. It's like we don't even have 1 million people right now
but that's
in our city limits. Granted, you can at any point during the day, it could be 1 million people.
Well, you talk about on the black side, I mean, the poverty is worse. The economy is worse. We were already last in employment. We were already last in education. So when things have gotten worse as America has declined.
Is that fact? We last in education?
Yeah.
Missouri?
We talking about black and white.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying for what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about America.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the white schools are nicer than the blacker schools. Usually. You know what I mean? So
and even in the district, the only schools that white people go to typically are the better schools.
In the
city district.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Kind of a thing. And so,
the conversation.
You know, I think that, like I said, social media speeds it up. It's a whole bunch of different things. Like, would kids be stealing cars at the rate that they could if they couldn't just play online games like that or just see sensationalized media where, like, the only thing you could consume was just craziness? Like, when we were younger, I mean, I did look at the newspaper. I wasn't like reading the headlines, but maybe look at the funnies, look at the sports section. Like I was consuming things that weren't just like the craziest thing you could look at.
That were more curated.
Just not the craziest thing you could look at. So now you just got kids that just got access to YouTube with adult features. Yeah, it's just like, you know.
I be thinking like, it's kids like you 7, 8 years old, like that like getting their first phone. I was talking to Puck the other day. He was like, yeah, I had to get my son a phone. And it's like,
I don't like. Do little kids just have to have the iPad? Like, is that necessary?
I mean, if that's how I guess he wanted to interact with his son in that way. You know what I'm saying? Or
I just mean like, you go out and kids just be you sitting there at Red Lobster and some little kid just sitting there with the iPad. I'm like, you can't color.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can't do the menu.
Yeah, you can't just chill out, relax.
And like I said, I think that's, I don't got no kids, so I'm not just shitting on parents, but I father a lot of kids out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
I'm not against the iPad, but
But yeah, I feel like people just using that as a default because we got a generation of adults who still being kids.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And they having kids, and then it's like, damn, Keon, little badass out here doing crazy shit. And so, but they like self.
I got an alternate view on that.
What's up?
What if being an adult is just made up?
I don't think it is.
No, let me finish what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Not being an adult and like being a man and being a boy. Mm-hmm. Not in that sense. Like I have to grow into a man. Mm-hmm. But being an adult and being a kid are different. When it's like being a kid, it's just you being yourself. Even if you're a kid, you have to understand responsibility. You have to know when not to do things. You have to learn how to do that when you're a kid. But like to your point, being an adult for some people was like, stop playing video games. Grow out of this music.
Okay, well, yeah, that's just
no. I'm serious. That's what being adult is to people. That's your only reference to adulthood.
When people are paying bills doing game. I feel the gaming shit has shifted from when we was little, when parents was just like.
But I'm just saying, you could be a young person, a teenager. You know what I'm saying?
Rich off playing video games.
Not just playing video games. Like I said, know how to pay a bill, look online, do adult responsible things.
Okay, well, I'll say the separation is like guidance. Like, not to say you don't get guidance as an adult, you have to be wise enough to seek out that guidance on your own to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Whereas as a kid, you don't have the perspective really for most part to understand what you need and what you don't need at times. You might have, you could be a smart kid or be advanced and have more responsibility.
You just haven't actually had the lived out experience
as kids. But
I guess I've met enough kids that have more sense than some adults that I know. And the only thing they do lack is just time. You know what I'm saying?
You just expect somebody who's had more time to have acquired more knowledge.
Because our people, adulthood is like, I'm grown and sexy.
But no, that's just
them are people
to me that I consider kids.
But that's what I'm saying. That is a part of trying to be an adult.
They be fake being an adult.
Being a kid is really just doing what you want to do. That's what being a kid is. And for me, I don't consider being an
adult not doing what you want to do?
Not for most people. Most people consider adulthood. That's what I'm saying. Most people attach adulthood as you suppress. You have to do this. You have to do that. Stop playing the game. Grow up. Be serious. When it's like the game, not the, you know what I'm saying? Not the reason. The music, not the reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watching cartoons? That's not the reason. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good person, you got high character, you're doing certain stuff, you're doing that regardless. You know what I'm saying? But the mentality, people always say, stay childlike. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, don't grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I look we just went to go see Dave Chappelle in there. They still kids. Chris Rock at 15, probably the exact same person that he is. Dave Chappelle, probably the same person. Like you said, they grew into men.
And people become
they grew into fathers, husbands, you know what I'm saying? Like sons in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go through that, but being an adult, like you said, I know people that's 50, 60, 70 ain't got no sense. You know what I'm saying? And they adults. Like, that's the problem with America. It's all these old ass adults running shit. We need somebody 25 in Congress. We need somebody 33 that might be the president for a while. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you need that kind of perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like what Dom said, the man with the most isn't always in the front. The most smartest person ain't just the oldest person all the time. The best leader ain't just, you know what I'm saying?
So let's transition that back into like the city. Because I'm big on St. Louis. Like, shout out to the rest of the country, but we working on our shit right now. We can't really fuck with y'all right now. So for a St. Louis standpoint, it's just like something else I've noticed. When you talk about being an adult, the role people play in our city, like you said, who are these people in power? Are the youth? Though we have a voice, who is that voice of the youth? Is it us? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Who is going to be the people who, because due to the lack of education, a lot of people don't really, it's like, as a people, it's like, we're not really citizens like that for real. Like, a lot of people I grew up with, in the neighborhood I grew up in, don't participate with the city as a adult citizen who does XYZ. And I get why. I get why too. You know
I think too, like what we're missing is like a concentrated black middle class, young middle class.
Is the middle class fake?
No, the middle class is not fake because it's like Albert Pujols not in the middle class. Albert Pujols is like 1 percentile, you know what I'm saying? Like super duper rich. You got people, you could have $1 million.
So where did the middle class start? How much money you need to be middle class? Because the average black person is worth $8.
Right. So I would say middle class is probably like 50,000 to like 50,000 to probably like
a salary or net worth?
A salary. To live a 50,000, like you could.
It don't got to be over an extended period of time making $50,000.
I'm saying if you make a $50,000 salary, you're in the middle class range to me, in my opinion.
And it's ain't no length of time of how long you've been getting that money.
I guess if you don't make it the next year, you're not in the middle class no more.
So if you earn $50,000 before taxes or after taxes,
yeah,
you're a middle class person.
Yeah, you can afford to probably, like you said, get apartment somewhere. It's not the place you probably want it to be, but you could probably get an apartment and
that's
afford
kind of poor though.
That's middle class because the people who can't legit can't. So if you 50 and you,
I just feel like it's levels to being poor.
And I'm just saying that's lower middle class. You got upper middle class. You have like middle class is like
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying I don't feel like
you could be
50
10. You could have
alone make you middle class.
You can have
like
$10 million.
To me
if you got
like,
$10 million, you got $100 million. Those are different types of rich, different types of money. You see what I'm saying?
If you got 10 million, so $10 million, you could have be a middle class family and have 10 million. So it's upper middle class.
No, that's not being middle class. 10 million. If you got $10 million, you're not middle class. You're in the 1%. You only like.
So you saying
if
you live in Florida and you middle class?
Yeah. And I'm saying most of the people that I know that I graduated with, like you said, if you're probably middle class in America, and like you see your joint household makes $400,000. That's probably the highest of middle class. You know what I'm saying? Because like you could send your kids to college, you could have a house, buy a house, sit back, not do nothing, kind of stack. But you just like, you can't not go to work for 20 years if you just got, you know what I'm saying? Like you still have to go to work depending on what your life is. Otherwise, you probably have to move out from your city. You have to change your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like if you made $400,000 and you want to live in St. Louis, you probably have to really pay your house off, do all this other stuff. I think
it's other factors that determine that because it's like if your mama make 50 bands and she got 3 kids, you not middle class. You broke. That's why I say it just can't be associated just with what you do. I mean, you're a single man, so yeah.
I'm saying, okay, well, I'm just saying
$50,000 as a single man with no children.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Well, I'm just saying, even if your base salary, like I said, a mother with 3 kids is gonna take home more money than me anyway, because I'm a single man. So if she made 50,000, I made 50,000 before. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying that's still you not eating out here like that. You struggling.
I didn't say who said middle class was living lavishly or doing anything in America.
I'm not saying lavish, but I don't know. I don't feel like you can't put your kids through college.
Okay, who said that middle class you could do that?
Well, I feel like if you can't educate
yourself, because most people who go to college get loans. You know what I'm saying? And they come from 2-parent houses. Like I know a lot of people that came from 2-parent households. Their parents was to work. They could afford their house. They had to get a loan because college is overly expensive. Even if you are middle class, they hike the prices up. It's unaffordable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just don't think I kind of don't believe in middle class, but we can move on.
But I'm just saying, it's like that not having like the middle class people that's just like want to be here,
but we
settle in and do that.
Are in the middle class for that. The majority of the black people that are.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're just missing a black middle class. Like that's all I'm saying. Like
I think the middle class is the reason why we're missing it is because it is kind of fake real, and because if you don't have the upper class with the people who are lower class, then it can be no middle because it's no in between for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're really like back in the day, like they'd say, like, you know, growing up, it'd be niggas on the block that got paper, it'd be niggas on the block that don't got no paper. But it's like little bro could go play with his son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And have a better middle ground because it's like now, well, somebody got a bike. I can at least ride a bike. Right. You know, I ain't gotta go steal nobody's bike because, bro, you know what I'm saying? I come to Ryan house, Ryan them got a bike and shit. We could be human.
Yeah, we cool.
But like now it's
community.
Like now it's like even, you know, it's just a lot different.
And that's what I'm saying. Like because of housing, because of things, like you feel like it's not a middle class, but it's just what I'm saying. It's like the people are there that make that amount of money.
Then
it's just things that are just unaffordable.
Because when you look at the children or just even knowing people how we
St.
grew
Louis
up.
is, I mean, we're using it as an example, but not to cut you off, but it's harder to use it as an example just because there's a whole side of the city that just nobody lives on.
But people do live there, though.
But people do live there. But I'm saying to the percentage of houses, if it's 10 houses and people live in 3 houses, I'm just saying nobody live on this block. There's 7 houses that's empty.
I don't know the stats on how many people, black residents there on the north side, but I would say it's over 100,000 or maybe like close to 100,000.
I mean, it's got to be somewhere in there. If the city like 51% white,
but now the city
like
is just. But now that element of the north side is just moving to North County,
right?
And so it's like those same people are around, which is in a
more
less
north.
densely populated area, I guess.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that to say like that is causing a big, you know what I'm saying, like with that middle class, like those are homes. You know what I'm saying? Houses create property value. They create all these different things. It's like a trickle-down effect. And it's just like those empty houses, like I know hella people who got jobs and stuff, they just moved away, but it's like they just would live in a house somewhere. It's like, because they just are from here. You wouldn't go rent an apartment more than likely. You just be like, let me go buy a house and this is where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a whole bunch of people that I just grew up with that's just not doing that. And that, to me, is a difference in the city. The city, when we came of age, wasn't a place that seemed very attractive to us. So it was like we left. So
yeah, man. I don't know what we could do to fix it. Like, other than, but I'm gonna end it on rest in peace to Tyree. That hit home because it's like, damn, my little brother named Tyree. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to be at the point where it's just like, I mean, we've seen so many black people be killed.
Yeah,
you know that it's like. That shit don't never really happen to nobody else for real. Like, I mean, not to say it don't ever.
Yeah.
But for us to be like a small ass percentage of the country and shit, even though we be on TV dunking on niggas and shit, is like, besides that, we really don't. Even in Missouri or St. Louis, you know where the black people at. You know what high school the black people go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we asked the question. It ain't that many black people at Westminster in that graduating class this year, I'm sure. Percentage wise.
No, probably not.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's more what St. Louis is to people than what Clayton is more of what St. Louis is to people.
That is St. Louis now.
Even good pockets of the South Side and shit like that.
That is St. Louis now. When they do commercials of St. Louis, it's Tower Grove, it's the Central West End, it's parts of downtown, it's Midtown. It's not Kings Highway and Natural Bridge,
and that's where we grew up.
It's not Julia Davis Library.
Yeah, so
not yet, at least. We'll see if they get it. I guess that's a question. That's a good question for you. I mean, I kind of feel like I don't want St. Louis Black history to disappear, but it's like it feels like the only answer for the city, certain parts of it to be better is gentrification.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be weird. Like,
and though I feel like I could participate in it, probably most people that I grew up with couldn't.
Yeah, you can only participate because you're middle class,
right?
And just got the vision to get out in front of it, or have the resources to get out in front of that shit. And that's weird too, being a black person and being like, damn, I grew up in a city that like we have pride here. Our black people got pride. It's gonna be weird to just be on the north side now. Like, I'm up because I live here, but it's like I can't live with my people here. And that's something that I did enjoy about being in Chicago. It was like, well, I could go meet hella black people that got sense. And I know it's good, black people here that's good people and got sense too, but it's just like.
But the dynamics of our city.
Yeah.
Like you can meet somebody with a black person that live off.
Like my mama feel like she gotta carry a gun.
Yeah, my some little cousins feel like they gotta carry a gun.
And it's sad when you got, 60-year-old women that feel like I'm gonna have to blow a nigga down. A baby though. A little kid. A woman just got her head hit in the head on Lindell the other day. And it's just like, as a black man, it's like we gotta figure out how to police this shit, bro, and get these kids under control, because if we don't, it's just gonna be all bad. And I'm tired of seeing it. It's a family issue. It is. And that's why I say it's on black men, because we the foundation to them families, and I don't want to get canceled and all that type of shit, but it is what it is. Yeah. But it's like two sides of the same coin. We all need each other, and we the people who missing the most in a lot of different situations. Like a lot of kids they're struggling. They don't got that guidance that they need, that energy that they need. And mothers do so much, you know what I'm saying? But we got to have that balance, and that's why these kids out here running wild too. So it's like, shit, a lot of these kids are fatherless children. Yeah. 23%, I think, and we just talking about America, period. I think like 23% of children grow up in a fatherless home. So in a black community, that's like 80.
Yeah.
70 at least. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's fucked up. But that's why we out here tweaking, because we really don't be seeing other people kids acting like this, and we just don't. And I know it's a lot of factors that go back hundreds of years and what have you, and still institutional shit. But at some point, it's just like, all right, whether our school's nice or not, motherfuckers gotta have some respect, and that's something that built the black community before, because it wasn't built to last. You feel me? Like it wasn't like a situation where, you know, Kinlock came up, went down. Kirkwood, Maplewood came up, went down. You know, the Ville, it's a few other JVL, all these other communities that came up and went down. And now it's just like you said, it's just gonna be like cute little white girls walking their dogs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Through the JVL. And it's just like, whoa.
I guess it's like, you can't, we said we wanted to keep this to St. Louis, but, you know, I read an article in the New York Times or something like that. The same thing happened in New York. You know, they was like, this lady was talking about being out in Brooklyn and like late at night, she like 11, 12 o'clock at night in the summertime and it's quiet. She like, that's not the Brooklyn we grew up with. And she was like, when that white flight, when those people came in, they changed the rhythm of the neighborhood. It get quiet at 10:30. It do XYZ. And when black people, we outside, we talking loud. We ain't bothering nobody, but we just loud. We playing music. Like you said,
the balance. Like I do want to be able to have like national department stores inside our city.
But then it's like
a normal place.
It's like
it come with some other shit.
It rapes, but it saves.
Yeah, you know.
And so it's just like it takes, but it gives.
And I'm interested to see how it continues, because the difference, like, you know. Or if they gonna just start policing completely different again and just like start policing the city to where you can't just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
But like,
no.
Like kind of like, because when we grew up, like it was a real thing. You get to the county, you driving different, your heart rate up. You know motherfuckers on it. You come through Jennings, your ass, you get that part of West Florida, so your ass slowing the fuck down.
I mean, rest in peace, Mike Brown. Mike Brown changed it.
We know what's up. So yeah, he changed the DOJ.
Mike Brown literally changed that.
And so now I feel like the city out there. You know what I'm saying? Because they just on some hands-off shit. And it's like, I feel like they doing that on purpose. But once they build this Target, all this Shoto corridor, you can't have the Peabodys and shit no more over there and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to move some shit around.
Yeah. What I will say, yes, the city is going to move around. Where are they going to displace all these people?
And they going to North County. You know they going to North County.
But I'm saying,
it ain't nowhere else.
But I'm saying even that's to say, yes, there is a problem with displacing people in the name of moving white people in. Displacing black people in just the name of moving white people in, there's something wrong with that.
Black Lives Matter in yours.
But it's like the city just not made to work, because what you're talking about is community building. And what our city has is a whole bunch of political lines that can't be crossed. St. Louis City can't work with Dalewood. St. Louis City can't work with Jennings. So as black people, I live in the city, they live in Jennings. We can't pull our political power together outside of voting for, you know, congressmen and things of that level. So to your point though, you're saying that like as a group, we need to do X, Y, Z. And it's like as a city, we can't, as a group, we can't do it because of the political lines. Even like you said, it's okay. If black people all had to move out to North County, okay, whoop-de-fucking-do. We could still have community, have school, do all these different things. The problem is you get out there and we all live in different places. So we're not voting together. We're not going to the same thing, doing this and that, doing this and that.
In Kinlock and shit. Niggas,
everybody in Kinlock, and everybody in Kinlock, and the people in Kinlock can lock in and do that stuff. We're in the Ville, but we're a part of a greater city, and we can vote for our neighborhoods and do X, Y, Z, and the kids go to school here, and we're doing that. So it's like, you know, I just can't participate in that way, like you said. But Chicago was like, I could live off 87th, I could live off 35th, and we can have some. We're voting the same, damn near. We're voting for the same district attorney. We're voting for the same this and that. You know what I'm saying? That make the laws of our city where we live.
So we looking at our city because right now this was, you know, Tashara Jones is our mayor. Shout out to all the divas out there. And you know, on face value, it seems like she doing some things. It's hard to really know exactly what's everything that's going on. I try to read and stay abreast to different issues and what have you.
Yeah.
A lot of money that we don't know where the money at and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But she did say something about an initiative towards the north side, and she from the north side.
Right.
As we are. So
she's starting a conversation in the city around reparations.
Yeah, which is peace.
Everything in North County and all that stuff is named after plantations.
Yeah, if they giving out reparations, Niggas in California there wasn't no slavery out there. Fuck that. The slavery was right here. We just took the rock down.
We the last state to get it. We were the first state.
Yeah, we need to be the first motherfuckers to get some paper, bro.
So,
you know what I'm saying? I'm a mutt. I know I'm gonna consider a slave. I need my shit, but
you know what I mean?
But yeah, so but like we're looking at, I said it to say, we looking at it because she should have been the mayor.
Yeah,
4 years ago or before she became the mayor.
Doing
but
more.
We were united. You know what I'm saying? They talked about the older black man was on some bullshit with her or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if the city is about to stop being black, and that's what we talk about. The city is gonna slowly. We was like point something ahead, and now it's probably gonna go dipping lower and lower until we like in the 20%. Probably, you know what I'm saying, from 47 or whatever we was, whatever. To
like I said, we're gonna be like Oakland. We're gonna be like, all these different cities to where white flight, and we gonna get displaced. And I mean, it's already happened because, like you said, when you leave a neighborhood vacant for 20 years, it's like, okay, it's not gonna stay vacant for 100 years. Somebody's gonna move there. Whether and people just think of white and black. It may be a whole different group of people, nationality that move in that weren't even here in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be the
neighborhood shit. Baden used to be a German neighborhood. We know the Jewish people used to go to Soledad. We know, people move around and do different stuff. But my issue is, as a black man, is everybody else decide what they gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas with us, it's like, what is the new shit y'all finna have to do? So get y'all ass over here.
I'll just say this. And, again, I think that's going back to that.
On us too.
But no, that goes back to that middle class thing. Because I'm pretty sure me, you, and LeBron got sensible stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That we all pretty much want the same stuff in life. But as black men, there's no way for us to interact.
What you mean?
Because of America, he has to just be rich. He can't interact with me because, like you said, I'm middle class.
And that's some bullshit, and that's our problem. I feel like that's a black person problem.
There you go.
Because that's the only way we gonna be able to come together. It ain't no reason why a motherfucker. I feel like in Chinatown, some rich motherfuckers, some poor motherfuckers.
Well, I'll say that.
Would we agree on that?
Well, I'll say that though. I'll say this though. That is un-American. What you talking about?
Okay.
That is un-American. And black people, when I say black people, descendants of slaves, have only been in America. So we've picked up a lot of bad habits from our American counterpart. You know what I'm saying? To where, like you said, you just use Chinatown. Chinatown didn't start a different culture in America.
And so now it's getting into culture. And that's probably the answer to all this shit, this video is like, our culture, the way we be living, is fucked up. The fake being a blood shit, the fake being all that gang shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We not unified though.
Right.
Nipsey got killed by a crib.
You know?
So it's just like all this shit a fable. And so that's really what it is. It's like our lack of culture is like we tried to do something. Let's say the silent generation. Let's just go off them because then the oldest people we damn near really got to know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We knew some great grandmas out there, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we 3 generations down from that. Now we like 4th, maybe 5th generation from that.
Right.
As far as the babies now growing up. The difference between them and us is what? To me, is respect for others. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lack of access to weapons. It was killings and stabbings and shit like that. But it just like
gun control.
It's always gonna be people who gonna be into it and shit. Mm-hmm. But it's like the respect for life seemed different, and the lack of access to certain things, I feel like forced us to be together.
Yeah.
Now
the desperation,
and that's back to the Tyree thing. Rest in peace to Tyree. Is like now I'm black. I could be a police officer. I fake could be white now. I'm racially ambiguous. I have no connection to being black. Because I don't really know what that means for me anyway.
And we can go back to that. And I mean, what is being black? That should be the thing. That's what we're going to solve. What is being black? Because being black for so many people is so many different things. Because to me, like you talked about the GTA and all the other stuff, them little niggas feel like they hood. That's being black.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's not being black.
Yeah, it's like
that's made up. That's not being black.
Ignorance is starting to be put with being black.
Because there is a difference between acting ignorant because that's how you want to act versus the ignorance that white people try to put on us when they forced us not to be able to read. So you would have black people out trying to do the right thing. Brother can't read because nobody ever gave him the chance to read. And that's where his ignorance stems from. Not from his lack of effort, not for his lack of respect to your word. Mm-hmm. And now that's been, you transmute that now into, well, now
and
I'm going to be a nigga that can't read.
But now it's almost, like I said, now we get into a deeper convo because like that's the thing. You can't see the workings behind the clock. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's a reason why kids at Soul and the 12th graders reading on the 6th grade level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And it could be from policy. I mean, we could take it back to No Child Left Behind, whatever. It's a whole bunch of things that trickle down into it. Mm-hmm. And so we still become slaves. We're still doing what we've been doing.
We're doing what we've only done.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas like, and we don't know and we don't appreciate it because I said maybe that generation appreciated more because they knew slaves. So it's like you better get your ass up and go be a Kappa and shit and go get some grades.
They felt that little bit of pressure. A little bit of pressure raised up. You can go outside, you hit the water fountain, you go to the store, you can move around, you go to school. That little bit of pressure raising up gave us, like you said, now we just running crazy. But they felt that pressure was like, you better acknowledge this and take this opportunity and get your education, take this opportunity, raise your family, do this and that, keep us together because this shit could be a lot worse. And that a lot worse is lost on us now. Because like you said, but it's too many of us that are wasting our opportunity in America. And we could be doing so many things. And I know that, and I know deep down in my heart, these brothers do not want to be looking over their shoulder every day. I know they don't want to do that. They doing that because of the system and they grew up in terrible environments. I know that they don't want to do that.
And we get rewarded and we getting rich off of it. And that's really what's fucking it up tomorrow. And I guess it's going to go back to the hip hop.
We finna die. Our camera finna die.
All right, I'm going to leave it on this. Now, if you're a crazy ass nigga, you get to become rich.
Yeah, and that's fucking us up. So we'll keep having these talks, man. So
if you listen, shout out to you.
Yeah, man.
Peace.